Welcome to the Dean's List, engaging conversations at the intersection of entrepreneurship, artistic expression, and holistic health. Experience wellness in full color, where fashion, beauty, and art blend with body, mind, and soul. Embark on a journey that dresses your aspirations in style, paints your life with beauty, and sculpts your well-being in every dimension. This is the Dean's List, where inspiration is always in session. Welcome to the Dean's List, where we unravel the rich fabric of vitality, creativity, and business ingenuity. I'm your host, Allison Dean, and today we delve into the world of sacred facials with Megan Niño. Known as Beauty Loves Nature Online, Megan blends botanical beauty with holistic care, showcasing the art of living and working sustainably. Since she actually also lives in a converted schoolie. Her journey embodies the fusion of wellness and entrepreneurship, demonstrating how a life dedicated to natural beauty can also be an adventurous voyage. Join us as we uncover how Megan's passion for holistic skincare is not just a profession, but a way of life that inspires creativity, wellness, and eco-conscious living. Hello, Megan.
Hello, Allison. Thank you so much for that introduction. That was lovely.
Good. So happy to have you here.
Thank you. Happy to be
All
here.
Right. Let's kick it off. What inspired your journey into holistic aesthetics and starting sacred facials? And how did you discover this passion for, awesome practices like Gua Sha and my personal favorite, lymphatic drainage?
Yeah. It was definitely an evolution. I was an eco makeup artist in LA before aesthetic school, and I always knew that I wanted to be an organic esthetician while attending. I just didn't know what a holistic esthetician was at that point in time. I really found my path in San Francisco when I was hired at Laurel Skin as the in-house holistic esthetician. This was back in 2015. And I didn't know that I was a light worker or a healer until I started working there and experiencing amazing things energetically. I also, I come from a lineage on my maternal side of healers. And my mom is an herbalist, and she's been making her organic skincare for over 20 years in Idaho. Also, from a wellness standpoint, I've always loved to travel and attend retreats, and I've been blessed to experience nature on a spiritual level in gorgeous places like Greece and Costa Rica, Esalen, Tassajara, and Tucson, Arizona. The Dr. Votter, as far as that's concerned, I am certified in the basic neck and face, manual lymph drainage, and the protocol is really difficult to learn. But once I got the hang of it and saw what it did for clients, I totally fell in love with it. And before I started Sacred Facials in 2017, I continued my education and learned how to do Gua Sha with a mentor. Yeah.
And so how do you find these new things? Because you just also introduced the herbal poultice into the mix. So is it just when you're going to these various retreat type environments, or how do these new discoveries come into your life? And then how do you make the decision that you're yes, that's something that I actually want to bring into my service offering?
Yeah. Well, a lot of it in the beginning was just the people that were surrounding me, my teachers, my mentors. These were all new things in the industry of holistic beauty and skincare that were just really coming out. This was years and years ago. But I definitely, I believe in perfecting the craft, just practicing it consistently over and over and over to really make it a perfect thing. So
for
I
your
hope
practice.
that answers your question. Yeah, as far as the herbal poultice is concerned, one of my teachers, Cecily Braden, she's top in the industry for her modalities, and it's just something that's really lucrative for a lot of estheticians because it's unique, it's different, it's niche, but it's effective for the skin.
Right. Yeah, that was a fun one too. I need to come back for another poultice. It's 11 years now with experience. So how do you define wellness beyond skincare? So it's I think that's the first part. What does wellness mean to you beyond skincare? But also, what role do the techniques that you use play into just that overall nurturing of a very balanced life?
Hmm. Well, wellness for me is a lifestyle.
Yep.
I've always been attracted to being crunchy or organic, if you will. Um, I keep my skincare minimal yet potent.
Hmm.
3 to 4 products a day max. Like the potent part being organic, raw, and whole plant. And then, of course, facial massage, Gua Sha, and then using the lymphatic brush. Those all play a huge role in like my skin's health.
Yeah.
I also eat organic foods whenever I can. I take supplements, I work out, and I dabble a little bit in biohacking. It's
Yeah.
just fun.
Yeah.
um, don't get me wrong, like I eat grains and sugar more than I would like, but I do stay away from GMOs
Hmm.
as
I mean,
much
I
as
think it's,
possible.
yeah, it's like an awareness, right? So it's
Exactly.
given how infiltrated our lives are with these things, I call it defensive living. You really have to live
Mm.
defensively now. Um,
I
it's still
like
just
that.
good to be right. It's good to have the awareness, so at least you can, like, I think, lean into always opting for the right choice when you can, but then also
Exactly.
not get upset at yourself when you're
Hmm.
living defensively, right? Yeah. I
Yes,
think that's
totally.
how I look at it. All these things together, um is that for you nurturing a beautiful and balanced life? Are those things, or is there anything else that you do to incorporate that to drive towards this feeling of balance?
Hmm. Honestly, yeah, I feel that I've simplified my life so much over the last year. I'm
Yeah.
very happy with my life now, and I've created that life and that balance. Of course, there's it's like life happens, right? And you can become imbalanced, but it's definitely, like you said, the awareness. It's the practice of it daily. Eating well, incorporating these beautiful skincare rituals, and using healthier products. Just I wanted to say also that I'm a huge believer in hugging a tree and
Ah,
earthing, grounding through the feet is very important. Like I
yeah,
just did it when I took my cats outside.
I love that.
Uh, Going into kind of the second part of that question
Uh-huh.
um, about like what role do the techniques of fascia and herbal poultice play in achieving this wellness?
Mhm.
You know, Fascia is something that I've really gotten into in the last few months. And I took a class with a woman in Canada online, and she talks about this fascia manipulation of the face and neck and the fascia release techniques and how powerful it is for just releasing these tensions and things that we hold in our face. And we really don't even know how much we hold in the fascia. And that includes
Mm.
emotions, which is that's just mind blowing to me. Yeah.
Yeah. It goes to the fact that it's never just one thing, it's a lot of things combined
Hmm. It's
together,
all
right? You can't
connected.
lean into, yeah, it's all connected. It's all connected, like fascia. That's funny. Okay, so I love that you said hugging trees, by the way, because in our first episode with Bianca from the My Studio, I literally talk
Mhm.
about that with her since she had a whole blog post on it. But okay,
Oh, wow.
let's talk about your like daily rituals. So, okay, you've already said, try to eat organically, obviously limited, but very potent facial products. But day in the life of Megan Nino, what are some of the daily rituals or daily non-negotiables that you recommend for all the people listening, so that they can maintain perhaps optimal facial health or just overall wellness?
Okay. Oh, wow. How do I answer this?
You
Okay.
can start with, well, go outside and hug a tree.
Right. Totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, having good, healthy daily habits, especially in the morning, first thing when I wake up, I'm like, something amazing is going to happen today. And I
I
say
love
that
that.
to myself and I set the tone for the day. Because I used to
Uh-huh.
wake up and be like, oh my God, I just feel like something's going to happen. But, it was never like this kind of this good feeling. But anyway, I say something amazing is going to happen today. And then I, get some sunshine in my eyes and, let's see, having like a good three product skincare regimen, preferably organic, would just be like, it's a game changer for you. So a
Mm-hmm.
cleanser, an elixir, and a serum to
Uh-huh.
start. And
Yeah.
then, exfoliating a couple times a week or masking 2 to 3 times a week will really up the skincare game.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can, as much as possible, I know people are busy and we live in a fast culture, but that Gua Sha really can help work the fascia. It touches on meridian points in the face and neck, which correlate with our internal organs. So that helps to bring balance. What else can I say? Yeah,
No, that's
just
great. I feel like those are tangible things, I think, for people though, right? So because
okay.
I think that's the hardest part for a lot of people that are maybe curious, and or maybe, maybe they're more advanced and they're doing everything that you're doing and they just want to
Yeah.
feel like, oh good, I'm doing all those things. Great, check it off. But I
Hmm.
think there's a lot of other people that, I mean, it can be so much, there's, I mean, even someone like me who I've done many a thing in the wellness space. There's times where I'll text my best friend and be like, have you heard about this? Are we supposed to try this? What is this? Because it can just become too much, or
I totally.
yeah, it can.
Yeah.
Okay. So balancing the demands of entrepreneurship and your own
Mhm.
like daily wellness, that can also be challenging, right? Like just doing the things that you need to do for yourself sometimes can go by the wayside. So how have you reconciled for that? Like do you just carve more time, or do you give yourself more grace if like certain things don't happen? How does that work for you
Yeah.
since you run a business?
Okay. Well, I'm disciplined, but I'm not strict.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that's important. And just having that ritual, whether, it's a morning ritual or an evening ritual or throughout the day rituals.
It helps feed into you as an entrepreneur though. So I think those things probably they work together, right? It's almost like you need your rituals to charge your day to be able to do the services that you are going to do for your clients.
Absolutely.
You feel better when you do them, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
You
Mhm.
feel more ready to conquer all the people. all, all the people and the big
to meet
personalities like
them,
mine.
to meet them with grace.
There you go. Well said, Megan. Very, very appropriate. Okay, so so kind of like second part of that question, how does living now in a self-converted school bus, I mean, you and your husband did this, how does that reflect your commitment to wellness? And how does it influence now your approach to all things holistic in your life?
Okay, so I really we've simplified our lives to the point of, ease and predictability, which I love.
Hmm.
Um, it's not an easy life, it's very romanticized online. I have to say, there's a lot of difficulties and challenges that we've had to overcome,
Hmm.
but I do feel that this lifestyle has created more space. Funny
Hmm.
enough, because we're
Hmm.
living in a tiny home, it's created more space for me to just kind of, practice my meditation, be more still, and listen for the answers, and go within. And I like to journal. And Leo and I have our separate spaces in the bus. So I'll be sitting in the back, and he'll be sitting in the front, and we kind of do our little things at night, separate from each other. And then of course, we always come together and talk things out.
And actually, I think you just gave me like a billboard with even though you're in a small space, you have more space. I think that that's a very
Yeah.
magical statement, Megan. Like that's
Uh-huh.
and I think perhaps that is permeating into other dimensions of your life. So
Yeah.
now living in this small space, it's opened up a lot of spaces, perhaps because you've lightened a load in a lot of ways. And there's a lot to be said for
Totally.
that.
Yeah, materialistically and emotionally, my life
Mm-hmm.
feels much
Mm-hmm.
lighter
Yeah,
since
less
moving
stuff.
into the
Stuff is
bus.
a
Yeah.
stuff can be a heavy thing, right? Like stuff. We all have too much
People have
stuff, right?
so much of it. Like,
I know.
we were helping our neighbors move from
Hmm.
their other house, and it's like they had like 30 years of accumulated stuff. And it's just, to have to go through all of it, it's very emotional, and it's literally baggage,
Yeah. Yep. I'm like thinking about myself right now, Megan. I'm like, ooh, yeah. Ooh, I should probably do something about this. All right. So embarking on any really business journey can have its challenges, but for you and your holistic skincare business, could you share if there has been like a significant obstacle, or, have you taken a risk with something that has in actuality enriched your business or your life?
Yeah. A huge challenge was moving states and starting over. I had to reinvent myself after the pandemic,
Yep.
and starting a business from scratch isn't easy, but consistency was key.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was so scared to get into another space outside of my home because of what had happened. Although, I love my space now, and I'm so grateful that I did it. And the community here in Idaho has just been splendid. You guys are awesome. And I
Yes.
have to say, too, like, sorry to interrupt you.
You're fine.
Um, I overcame that very difficult situation with will, determination, trusting myself, and I kept pushing forward despite adversity. And I continued my education in different aspects of the business as well.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that? Your continued education and stuff?
Yeah, just connecting with teachers and mentors, and taking a marketing class that cost me $1,000. But yeah, I guess it was all part of it,
Worth it.
part of the journey.
So now for yourself, given this, I mean, moving is a big deal.
Yeah,
It's big, especially when you're moving a business and a
yeah,
service-based business to rebuild clientele. So
totally.
how do you feel now, Megan? I feel like it's a powerful position to be in as an entrepreneur when you can say, I've gone from this and rebuilt it into this. And how do you feel?
Honestly, Allison, I feel empowered, and I've embodied truly what I wanted to become. And
I
I, I'm absolutely so grateful for my clients, before I moved here, and then also for the clients now, and just the relationships, the person to person connection that I have with people. It feels incredible.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
I think it's just sometimes it's good to state those things out loud, right? Where let's
yeah.
not just talk about the issue, but also just like honoring that feeling of that you really did something pretty amazing. So,
Hmm.
anyway, I just wanted to call that out for you. So,
Thank
um,
you.
anyway,
I
okay.
appreciate it.
All right. So this is also kind of a similar state, mistakes, right? Like mistakes are obviously very powerful learning experiences. So is there a particular misstep or
Mm.
mistake that did open up something new, like a new opportunity for your business?
Yeah. To be fully vulnerable here,
Yeah.
many clients in the past have been great teachers, although they didn't know that. And, we all have triggers. And honestly, sometimes the situation will rub me the wrong way, and I have to meet it with grace. I might do something in a certain way because I'm quirky, and then like reflect on that and go, oh, I could have done this, differently. And I make an effort to be better next time.
Yep.
Um, Over the years, too, I've had client feedback, which has led me to running my business tighter. And I truly want all of my clients to experience the VIP treatment. So I'll give you an example. There was a woman who booked with me a few years ago, and we had never met before. And she booked with her name in all capital letters, which should have been a red flag for me at the time. But she reached out and she wanted to cancel her appointment, but didn't find the process easy. And then, she proceeded to send me a long email to tell me that she's been in the spa business for 20 years, and that the way I handled my scheduling process online was not good. And the fact that I charged before my facial was outrageous. And even though Square gives the businesses like the option to do this, she just didn't like it. And she also said that, she didn't like the fact that I didn't have my refund policy right there on my website. And so anyway, long story short, she says, I want a full refund and I don't want to reschedule. And I was thinking to myself, okay, I don't know why, but I was really nice. And I sent her a simple but professional email back. And I was like, thank you for your feedback. This will really help me. This will help me help future clients and, or help clients in the future. And I'm sure she was going through something, but I never forgot that interaction. And it actually helped me change my scheduling to be more efficient. So instead of taking it personally, I said, where is the opportunity in this?
Yeah, I love that. That's a great example. But it also is a great example, well, that was a client probably not meant to be for you anyway. So that's a
Oh,
blessing in
totally.
disguise. You got like a gift with the feedback and you didn't have to,
That's right.
service her. I love that. That's a big one. Feedback is
Totally.
a gift. We talk about that in I don't know, one of the other episodes. So I do think it's interesting too when you receive feedback. It can be really hard to receive feedback. I think when you take a little time, and
Totally.
I always say, take everything with a grain of salt, right? Because it's not to say that every answer is the right answer kind of a thing. But I do think that there are elements of feedback that you can lean into, and they could have a pretty impressive impact on either your life or business. So yeah, it's a great example. Okay. What do you find most rewarding about providing holistic facial treatments? Especially so, and this is something that Megan touched on. She is a healer and she's very intuitive. And so I think I'm curious from your POV, what's rewarding, but also considering that aspect of yourself, like that you have that ability with clients.
I love my clients, and after they leave, I feel so full in my heart. I think because my work is also niche, in this med spa world, there's space for all of it. But I love using holistic modalities, and then seeing how relaxed the client is, and witnessing them go almost into this like trance-like space. Especially if they've had like a difficult day or a situation that week, or I tune into that and I can feel someone's energy actually before they enter my space, which I thank my creator for that gift. I've always been really good at reading people. Sometimes, I misread someone, but I always know what the client needs. And so that's how I use my intuition in my space in order to help the client. And sometimes they'll just let me know, like, I don't feel like talking, and that I'm totally okay with that. Like, I love to hold space for the client and let them just totally zen out. But yes, seeing them fully relaxed and then just all of that melting away, that stress just melting away, it just touches my heart.
And that's why you love it so much. Okay, I am curious. I wasn't going to ask you this question, but I think you just teed me up to it. Okay, so how did you read me the first time you met me, Megan?
Honestly.
No pressure.
Yeah, no, Allison, you are truly one of the most unique and lovely human beings. I mean, your light literally just shines so brightly.
I love
And
you, Megan.
I knew that when you were coming to my space that you were going to be like a happy, joyful person. And then also, I didn't know how loquacious you were going to be, because I really like how, talkative you are. But everything you say, it's just very intelligent, and I just love you.
I love you too. I wasn't actually looking for all those compliments. I was just like, oh yes, is she going to say that? I was like, oh
Of
no. I
course
mean,
you
I
were.
appreciate you. I love you.
I know that.
You're so funny. It's hard to shut me up when I'm on the table. Like there are times where like I'll crash out and like fall asleep for a second, but like I don't allow myself to do it when I'm on Megan's table. So it's actually quite funny. She'll be like, "You did," and I'm like, "I know, for a second, yes, maybe, yes," but then I like scare myself back awake. It's hella. It's I don't know. It's like in my brain. It's bizarre. All right, so beyond the financial and like financial achievements, how do you measure success in your practice? I think we talked about client outcomes, right? You like when people like zen out and the stress melts away. So is that the driver, or is there any other elements that are also like the reason you're going to work every day beyond the
Totally.
financials?
Well,
Yeah.
it's so much more than skincare for me, honestly. It's a spiritual experience. Um,
I love
but
that.
beyond the financial achievements, the being able to practice full time in my own space is a huge success for me.
Mhm.
I used to have to take on little jobs here and there. I feel like maybe I had imposter syndrome and I wasn't fully believing that I could do it on my own fully,
Mhm.
100% of the time.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm grateful, obviously, for everything that I have, for my faithful clients, a beautiful space, working with the most organic, luxurious products, and the feeling of leaving a good mark on the world. That's probably a big part of it. And then, holding space for people that need it and want it and appreciate it. And then, of course, the client success stories or testimonials. Um, And then seeing also too the results of the skincare and the manual lymph drainage and the Gua Sha and how it
Mhm.
affects the skin. Seeing that inflammation or that swelling go down in the face and neck, and then seeing people's reactions after the facial, like, wow, that was amazing. It was more of an experience. It was more than a facial, or, then
Right.
seeing their glow and their smiles, and not to sound egotistical or
No.
anything, but just, all the things.
All the things. I like all the things. Yeah, I love that. No, yeah, but that's well said. I think you have to really want to impact people to be in any service oriented business, right? And I think
Mhm.
the service businesses where people leave feeling a greater sense of care and enrichment, those people always return, right? I think also the people that are going to be on the dean's list, Megan, there has to be a genuine, like a realness, right? Like if I don't feel it, I just know, it's like I know it. I know it very quickly. I knew the
Yeah.
minute I met you. I was like, I think I called my best friend too. And I
Oh,
did.
that's
I
sweet.
did call her
Awesome.
actually. And it took her like a year to come see you. But anyway, like that was hilarious. But I was like, you gotta go see Megan, because I just knew. All right.
I'm
Okay.
grateful for that, and that's an honor. Thank you very much. Yeah.
I love you, Megan. Okay, so we kind of touched on this already, but is there any other ways that you're leveraging your love for Laurel or other organic whole plant skincare to enhance your service offerings or to enhance client experiences? We know that, the poultice was introduced, Cecily Braden, but any other ways we didn't cover or anything else we
Yeah.
should touch on? Okay.
Well, as a business, an entrepreneur, I
Mhm.
I like to walk the talk, and using the products personally and professionally, believing in them, and being able to be authentic and like selling it.
Yeah,
That helps me build trust with the clients.
100.
And because I love it so much, it helps them feel that as well, and then knowing that the products are sustainably sourced, that the businesses that I'm getting these products from are conscious, in their capitalism or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. I'm hoping, I mean, that's actually one of the reasons that I found you, Megan, right? Was because I was specifically looking for someone in Idaho that was using Laurel products because
Hmm.
it was very important to me. That's an indicator, I think, of, whoever is doing the work, if they're, the quality of products that they're using, right?
Yes.
So that's what,
Yes.
that was like basically the the hard sell for me. I was like, oh, Megan, Laurel, done. Book the appointment. Like it was 1, 2, 3. Because there's so much to be said for, I think anyone that has selected Laurel and is using Laurel, and hopefully Laurel will come on the podcast too sometime, right? We'll just put that into the universe. Laurel,
yes,
on the dean's list. I mean, it makes sense.
She would do it.
Oh, good. Okay. I feel like she would, like talking about love of all the things and like being a badass entrepreneur, like making all the coolest stuff. Like, yeah, it's like a natural. All right. Well, good. I'm glad we're both manifesting it. Okay. So let's look ahead.
Okay.
You can look ahead a year, 2 year, 3 year, 5, whatever. Looking ahead, how do you envision, when you're thinking of sacred facials, how do you envision the growth and how do you want the business to evolve?
Honestly, having my own space in nature. I'm seeing a big community of people who are like-minded. I would love to see more people joining in a holistic community and us doing it together. And I know a lot of people are hoping for this. And I'm optimistic because our world is really changing and very fast, especially with the health and the wellness and people believing that they can heal themselves and doing it. And I do feel that my work is part of that, which is really exciting.
I love that. I can see that totally happening. Yes. And I would look to you for that. So, okay. Keep me posted, obviously. All right. We're going to do a quick fire round, Megan. And this is just first thing that comes to mind. Don't let it be stressful, even though some of them you might feel like, damn you, Allison. But they're meant to be first thing that comes to mind and just fun and a way for people to get to know Megan in a different dimension. So are you an early bird or a night owl?
I used to be a night owl, but I've become more disciplined. And now I got to get my ass up in the morning on time every single day.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on your like bandwagon with that, where I still feel like I'm a night owl that wants to be the early bird. And I'm just taking those, I don't know, they're hard steps, but I'm trying. Yeah. Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee, but I do like tea as well.
That's great. So do I. Like having tea now. Had coffee before. Totally fine. What's your favorite color?
Oh my God. That changes daily, but today it's yellow.
Okay. Great. I love that. Daily color changes. I love it. What's the first job you ever had?
Dairy Queen girl.
Oh my God. That's so cute. Okay. What's the one app that you cannot live without?
That's a hard one. Okay. Definitely Insight Timer. But I study Spanish every day, so Duolingo app is also another one.
I literally was opening my Insight Timer last night before bed. That's so interesting that you said Insight Timer. Okay. And anybody that doesn't know Insight Timer, you should download it.
Absolutely.
What's the one word you would use to describe your business journey in one word?
Sacred.
If you could have any entrepreneur, I think I might know who you're going to say. If you could have any entrepreneur as a mentor for a day, who would it be?
Cecily Braden.
I called it in my brain. I knew you were going to say that. What is a book that has significantly influenced maybe your business mindset or maybe just your mindset?
You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero.
I love that. Okay. Okay. Besides your own, what is your favorite small business besides your own?
Oh my gosh. I have to give a shout out to my mom here because she is an amazing organic skincare formulator, and it's Earthed Skin Co. is the name of the business.
We can link it. Okay. If you could instantly acquire one new skill instantly, what would it be?
How to make $10,000 in a month.
Okay. I love it. If you could time travel to any period in history, which era would you visit?
Oh my God.
I know. It's hard.
Ooh, I have totally fantasized about living in different time periods, but for some reason the 1800s comes up a lot in
Okay.
Paris specifically.
Okay. 1800s Paris for Megan. I like it.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
weren't doing this job, what
Hmm.
else would you be doing?
Interior design.
Interior design. You're the second person that has mentioned that. All right. I like to leave it with a piece of wisdom for other
Mm.
entrepreneurs that might be out there. So, what piece of wisdom would you share with a new entrepreneur who may or may not be entering the wellness space, but just a piece of advice that might be applicable in wellness or not?
Yeah. Okay, this is kind of a paragraph, but be authentic and true to your likes.
Oh, yeah.
Niche down, pivot when necessary, and never be afraid to take a risk. Be consistent and dedicated. It could be the catalyst into your dream career.
Mm-hmm.
And continue your education and find mentors that can help you.
Well said. That's like you should Instagram that, Megan. That was a good little punch list of, here are the things, right? I like that. Okay. Is there anything I didn't ask you that you were hoping I would?
Yeah. I would love to talk a little bit more about the tiny house,
Oh, yeah.
the
Let's
bus.
talk about it. I think it's an interesting thing because I knew you before the bus, obviously.
Mhm.
And I think just the like that journey, what that looked like for, going from living not in a schoolie, right, to building and constructing and all that labor, and feeling like you were never going to come out of that, but you did. I think that's so cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, tell me what you want to emphasize.
It started around the pandemic time when everybody was on lockdown, and I was watching all these YouTube videos about people, creating their tiny homes. And of course, my brain was just firing all these ideas, and I even looked into the financing for it. And at this time, Leo and I were living in Mill Valley in California.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, just like the doors weren't opening like they did when we moved here.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, we were tired of renting and we really wanted to live an alternative lifestyle. And so we had this idea of the tiny home in the back of our heads. And, we've always been very connected to nature. I've always been very connected to nature. We love to just be in that kind of environment. It feels better for us. So anyway, we moved to Idaho. And we lived 2 years in a luxury apartment in Eagle, and it was fantastic for the time being.
Yeah.
But I just was like, you know what? I just felt this push, this urge. And then one day I was watching these videos on YouTube about the tiny homes, and this schoolie family popped up, and I'm like, oh my God, that's what we're gonna do. And so I asked Leo, I said, would you live in a school bus? And of course he said yes. And so then I was immediately on all the auctions in Idaho looking for that school bus, and ended up finding one that was, fairly new.
Yeah.
It's a 2008, Thomas school bus, and in pretty much perfect condition. And we paid $7,500 for it. And my mom actually drove it to her property, and they let us keep it there for a year. And we worked on it every single weekend. And then eventually towards the end, it was like, we had to be fully dedicated to it. And I think the most emotionally challenging part of doing this journey is really believing that you can do it. Like if you have such a crazy dream and it doesn't scare you, you have to be willing and just keep pushing forward. And so, yeah, I believe that this bus was a spiritual experience for me, because it really got me out of this material mindset.
Yeah.
Showed me that I could do hard things.
Yep.
And also brought me and my husband closer. And there's a deeper understanding of how you can work together with another person.
Mm-hmm.
And then being able to create this custom home
Hmm.
at your own pace, really. So
Yeah.
anyway, just I'm so grateful that we did it and we're still building it, but it's not like a construction zone anymore. It's definitely livable. And,
Yes.
we do the projects on the weekend and
Hmm.
we live with our 2 cats and they're very happy here. And
Good.
now we can drive our bus house wherever we want to see friends and family and nature. So yes,
Fully
very
nomadic.
grateful.
You can be,
Yes.
at least, which is good. Well, I think it's a testament too in terms of doing hard things. Um, as an entrepreneur, it just kind of
Yeah.
feeds into I don't know, like there's a different connection to feeling overwhelmed when you have overcome really hard things, or when you've, put a lot of grit into doing something that perhaps you never thought that you would be able to do. I think mentally overcoming things like that just honestly helps in your day-to-day business life, right? Because I think perhaps some of the smaller things that people may tend to become overwhelmed doing or experiencing, perhaps for
Yeah.
you now, those things aren't necessarily as impactful because of the things that you've done. So yes, well done, I would say. Well done.
Thank
It's
you.
actually, I knew that they were serious when they were raising the roof on the bus. I was like, okay, they're raising the roof on the bus. Great. That was my first indicator. I was like, oh, Megan and Leo, they're serious. They're doing some stuff over there. Well, yes, and I think it's an amazing journey to follow, and I know you've captured it on Instagram. So that actually tees us up because I want you to share all your socials. Where can people find you? Since you've
Yeah.
documented the schoolie life so well. That's another way I applaud Megan too, is she has like multiple accounts, and I'm like already overwhelmed with just the dean's list, right? So yes, I applaud you. Please tell everyone where
Hey,
they can find you.
thank you so much. Yeah. So at Beauty Loves Nature is my Instagram, and it's also my YouTube channel, Beauty Loves Nature. And if you guys want to follow the schoolie, it's at Sovereign Artists Bus. That's artists plural, Sovereign Artists Bus. My website is sacredfacials.com.
Yes, to book all the things.
Yes.
To book all the things, right?
Yes.
What's your favorite service to do, Megan? Even though they're all your
Oh,
favorites. Probably right now, I can guess which one is your favorite right now.
oh gosh. I go back and forth, but manual lymph drainage, actually.
My favorite is your
Mhm.
favorite. That's so cool. Okay, I think Megan also has a little offering for the Dean's List community. Hmm. Hmm.
Yes, anybody who listens to this podcast, you will get 20% off. Obviously, this is for local people in Boise, Idaho, or anybody who wants to come visit me who's listened to this podcast. You get 20% off any service. So yeah, hopefully book today.
Amazing. I love that. Okay, yeah. So ping Megan, sacredfacials.com. 20% off. That's so lovely of you, Megan. Thank you so much. I hope everyone has learned a little bit of something about holistic skincare today. Megan, I hope you had fun, and thank you for being on the Dean's List.
Thank you so much. It was an honor.
And thank you all for tuning into this episode of the Dean's List. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite platform to stay updated, and follow us on Instagram at official_Dean's List and YouTube at It's Official Dean's List. I'm your host, Allison Dean. Until next time.